Welcome, one and all, to another live edition of the Extra Point Show. Shouts out to Bella in the background, right?
It's Bella and Big Boy, so somebody's making a ruckus some kind of way.
Hey, that's all right. Tell them to join the conversation. This is a dog-friendly program here. Mr. P.O. Colter here at your service, and flanked to my right, as always, is our international sports correspondent, all the way from the D to the R, Miss Tasha T. Sizzle. How goes it today, T. Sizzle?
It goes well, but let me see, good news and bad news. What do you want
Okay,
first?
run it.
What do you want first?
Let's go with the well, how do you do this? Bad news first?
Okay.
No, let's go with the good
Bad.
news first.
Good news is I'm building another house.
What? Already? Okay, so elaborate. What's going on with where does it go into the bad news?
I have to sell this one. Well, put it this way. I'm leaving this beautiful castle that I built here, my first one.
Mm-hmm.
Because, put it this way, they made us an offer we couldn't refuse.
Ah, you mean he had his own money?
And I mean, it was cash.
Really?
Because when they were building this house, the builder kept saying, he kept asking me, do you want to sell this house? I'm like, no, we don't sell the house. And he says, a lot of people want to come by. They want to buy the house. There are a lot of people coming by. They want to get the house. And I'm thinking, no, I don't want to sell my house. So, we moved in, May 29th, and it is July, whatever it is. And we're already moving out of the house again, because they gave us close to $60,000 over what we paid for it.
Wow.
And remember, the house was paid for. So we
Right.
get all that money minus attorney fees, which are down here $1,000 to $2,000 US dollars.
Now, shouts out to Miss Stephanie Colter. Happy Friday to her. Now, I know we had this conversation off wax about, right, throw up your flex one time for Steph. Now, I know we had this conversation off wax, but I will say this right here on live air. Won't he do it? Wasn't we just talking about flipping finances 2 weeks ago?
Won't he do it?
Now, I'll play some Hezekiah Walker now.
When I think about Jesus, what he done for me, I can dance, 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 dance. Do, 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 do. Hey, you know the organ, they be doing the feet like this on that little
Get that drummer head going. Get that drummer head going. Before we get started, because we have a jam-packed show after missing you all last week. Tasha got a ton of questions for you. But first, this episode of The Extra Point is brought to you by
May Jane's Coffee. That's MAEJANES coffee.com. You can get your Colombian, your Honduran, and your Brazilian blend coffee, all ground fresh by my sweet baby daughter, Denise on here. I forgot to tell her we were doing a show today. But anyway, she will be fully restocked on August 1st.
Right, coming soon.
Again, that's May Jane's Coffee, MAEJANES coffee.com.
.com. We are proud of you, Denise. Now, speaking of being proud, now a couple of weeks ago, and I hate starting off the show already behind the 8 ball on this, but a couple of weeks ago, we started this very show right here on these very airwaves, and we asked, with Phoenix being up 2-0, was it time to break out the brooms? We asked Michigan Mike, we asked you, and your answer was what?
Bucks in 6.
And me and Mike gave you the stank eye. We were like, Bucks in 6? Okay, so right now we're going to give you your flowers. You were the only person, not Maria Taylor, not Jalen Rose, not Kendrick Perkins, not the Shaq, not Charles Barkley, not on any of the TNT crew. You said Bucks in 6 after they went down 2-0. What did you see that the rest of us mere mortals did not see?
Chris Paul.
Just like that, huh?
I mean, not only that, what I saw was Giannis. That man was injured. So we don't know the severity of the injury. Apparently, it was not that severe, but he basically went out there with 1.5 knees and maybe wanting a possible help from the team, put the team on his shoulders, scored a 50 piece in that final game.
Ran a Boston with no spades.
Right. got the confetti, got the champagne shower with the goggles, and his other brothers on the team too. He won because the brother last year won with the Lakers, and then you got this brother that won this year.
A family full of trophies.
Right. Yeah, them Giannis folks is winning. Antetokounmpo.
There he is. Antetokounmpo. The Antetokounmpos are putting in work. Shouts out to Denise. Denise, we need you to drop your link in the comments so we can post that for everyone. We let them know that you will be back up and running on August the 1st. And I'll be putting in my order so we can do that right on time. Shouts out to Angelo Tate A checking in. Cashroll is in the building today. Shouts out. Now, you weren't sold on Chris Paul. You were sold on Giannis. We laughed. You tried to laugh you off the screen when you said Bucks and 6. When they actually won that 6-1, I was like, oh, my God, I'm about to get a notification in my mentions. And to it, you were a gracious winner. So shouts out to you for closing the NBA on a high note with your prediction. Now, let me ask you another prediction, because Giannis, in his post-game press conference, he went on to basically say, hey, I did it my way. I did it the hard way. I didn't go join a super team. Like, he didn't call no names, but we all know the names. Do you think that this is going to be the new trend, or do you think that another super team might form to knock off Giannis?
Shots fired. Shots fired. It's not going to become the new trend because the other players that are joining these super teams are not Giannis. They do not possess the same type of skills. Now, Giannis, okay, he is depleted in some areas, but hey, he won a championship with what he has. A lot of these players that are jumping around these teams cannot do it by themselves. And I'll even give a nod to King James. And I said King James because that.
Wow, like she said King James and then
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
At the time,
look, she said King James, and it choked her up to do so. So while we wait to get her back, I want to go ahead and just say this for the record. This right here, the crown. Yes, we rock with you, Giannis. Yes, we're proud of you. Yes, you did it the quote-unquote hard way. Although I do want to push back on the fact that you did not want to form a super team, because the reason why you stayed in Milwaukee, let's just keep it real. The reason why you stayed in Milwaukee is because they could offer you the most money. You wanted that $245 million. So, and nobody else could offer you that. So before we crown you as the one who wanted to do it the quote-unquote hard way, you did it the money way. You wanted to ship that money back to Greece, and you did that. So what I was just saying, T. Sizzle, thank you for joining us back, was that I'm not so sold on his reasoning for being there and staying in Milwaukee, other than the fact that that's Supermax. They gave you the Supermax. They gave you the most money. You wanted to take that money. You didn't, and you was like, to hell with it. Because, quite frankly, KD had your ass dead to right. If his big throw didn't get him that 3-point line, you was out in the second round. So, you know, that could have been KD's title. So the crown, does this stay on LeBron's head? Was that what you were about to say?
No, what I was going to say was at that time he was King James because he had a Giannis-like performance by carrying. I'm not going to say scrubs because people get offended when you call them scrubs.
Right.
But let's say he carried a team of also-rans.
Okay.
To a championship.
Okay.
By himself, and that's kind of what Giannis did. I mean, the thing is, LeBron had more notable names on his roster. Giannis's roster just kind of had people that have been in the league forever.
Right, because the Holidays were just known primarily for being brothers in the league. None of them were known for winning, especially winning on that level. He gets to Milwaukee in 1 year, he's an NBA champion. You look at the PJ Tucker, NBA champion, also ran. Chris Middleton, NBA champion. Nobody considered him a top 25 player. at the time. So like, I mean, Giannis, what he did was super impressive. Dropped 50, 14, and 5 blocks in a closeout game.
50
Now,
piece on him.
a 50 piece. Now, if you're, let's say Damian Lillard, who we've heard rumbling say he wants out of Portland, and he's been the Giannis of the West Coast. He keeps re-signing with Portland, re-signing. Do you think this will put pressure on him to stay, or will it make it look like a ring chaser if he leaves now after Giannis won in his small market?
It will put more pressure on him to stay because they're going to start comparing. Are you better than Giannis? You've been at this longer than Giannis.
Right.
So why is it he came in? How long has Giannis been in the league? 7. How long has he been in the
Yeah,
league?
7 years, I believe.
7 years. You've been in the league this amount of years. You had quote unquote an all-star or top tier player in what people like to say Carmelo Anthony, which I don't think he's all of that. But
Right.
you've had pieces around you that were on the same level as LeBron James and Giannis, and they've won. So is it the fact that Dame can't carry the team? Because, let's put it that Dame is a baller. I'm not taking anything away from him. Dame is a baller to the umpteenth power.
Yes,
but
he is.
Something's lacking. Something's
Right.
lacking.
Something is lacking now. Stephanie in Nashville asked the question: is CP3 going to LA? Now he's going to opt out of his player option for this year, so he's going to be a unrestricted free agent probably here in the next few days or so. Do you think that that he will wind up in LA?
I don't know. I would take Russell Westbrook before I took him.
Bring the LA boy home.
Right. No, not even that. Simply because Russell's going to give you more power. People will fear you now because I think at this point people don't fear the Lakers. Even with LeBron on there, they're not scared of the Lakers. But you put a dynamic player like Russ on there, and the thing is, LeBron can't big ball Russ.
No.
Because if LeBron comes to Russ with some of that BS that he likes to do to these lesser tier players,
like AD,
Russ gonna look at him and walk. Russ gonna put on one of them fancy outfits and some Louboutin red bottoms for men and spin around like Prince when he was looking for his daddy after he beat his mama and walk straight out.
For y'all need to watch Purple Rain if y'all didn't catch that. You youngsters didn't catch that reference.
Shout out to Prince.
I will say this. I would rather it be Russ because I'd rather see Russ get a ring than CP3 in LA. But I think CP3 will be a better fit than Russ because of what you said. Russ is ball dominant, and so is LeBron.
But also, when it's clutch time, LeBron tends to like to defer. Russ gonna take that shot.
He is. Russ gonna shoot it and look at you like what? Like you know what you signed up for, it's Mr. Triple Double. I think either one of those will put them right back in the vein of NBA champions. As long as AD, aka always deemed, as long as he stays healthy, I think the Lakers should be favored to win. Now we got a special guest joining the show. One Mr. Hustler himself, Mr. Marcus Stone, letting them dreads hang. We see you.
Dreads hang on designer everything. Mr. Como de Garçon, Mr. Alexander Wayne, Pinky Ray, Flow Insane. Oh, insane.
Man, these shoes he got on, these
are hardest I done seen. It look clean when you pour it. I remix it, make it dirty. If she got it and text her back and tell her hurry. It's category 5 when I walk into the strip club. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's how we bring you on the Extra Point Hustle. What's going on today down there in H-Town?
What's good, family? What's good, man? I'm killing it. I'm just chilling. People used to say they gotta let they hang, but I'll stick with the dreads.
Right.
And I walk with a limp cause my heavy. Come on, Juvenile. Shouts out, Juvenile.
Shouts out. Now, we all know you the biggest LeBron hater on this side of Looney Tunes. Of this side of the state. So let's just jump right to it. Is he still the king, Marcus Stone? Is he still the king? The people want to know.
Do we need to go back and watch the TEP like 4-5 times? I've said that he was not the king.
Okay. See, Tasha, you good being in the middle, so you can referee this real quick. If he's not the king, after everything we've seen in these playoffs, who's the king right now, Marcus Stone? The people want to know.
Who's the people's champ?
No, who's the king? No, we're not going no lesser tiers. You got to climb that rung to get to the crown. Who's holding the crown, Marcus?
So what's the criteria for holding the crown?
Knocking off LeBron, the king, the all-time everything, Mr. Billionaire. We're gonna call him the Billy Goat.
That's outside of basketball,
right?
But on the court, the man is still the king. You can't blame him for 80.
Only in your mind.
No. All the king's horses and all the king's men. We're gonna put the LA back together again. All we need is like she said, we need Westbrook. Bring Westbrook on home to LA.
Okay. So this past season, y'all just needed Schroeder, and it still didn't happen.
No, we were up 2 games to 1 on Phoenix.
You always need a PG. You always need a point guard.
That's true. That's true. They do need a point guard. That's true. But I'm saying they were up. They had Phoenix on the ropes with AD dropping 30 and 10 in back-to-back games before his leg went noodle. They left it boiling in the water too long.
So then, what you're saying, what you're referring to is that you got to give AD the crown because they can't win it unless AD is playing doing 30 for 10.
That's exactly what
help me out here because I don't know what he's talking about. Help me out here
because I'm agreeing with him. If one player if he's supposed to be the king,
he the king.
If one player going down off of his team causes that man to lose in the first round, he ain't the king.
Okay, so again, if he's not the king, somebody is. This ain't like a ladder match where there's no champion. Who's the king?
But we don't have to have a king. We don't have to have one.
Okay, so then who's top dog right now? Is it Giannis or is it KD?
Yes. It's Giannis and KD. But I would give the nod to Giannis because Giannis is fresh off a championship.
Stone,
but that lust is gone off of that crown.
You agree with that?
That lust is gone, but I'm a rock KD.
So you say KD?
I'm a rock KD. I'm a rock KD because of the adversity.
I'm going to say they're the number one contenders. They're the number one contenders, but until
absolutely.
Giannis is going to have to, for me to give him the crown, Giannis is going to have to run it back, get another one, and another MVP. What LeBron has done over 20 years, you can't undo that in one playoff series.
You sound just like all those commentators and people that say a player wasn't great because they did not have a ring. That's what you're saying right now. If Giannis doesn't get another ring, that doesn't mean he's the king. You can't say that.
But that's the same logic that's being used against LeBron when it comes to Michael Jordan. He didn't go 6-0.
LeBron is not Michael Jordan, and I wish people would stop saying that. I was not even a Michael Jordan fan, and Michael Jordan is the best basketball player ever. And I was a Dominique and Patrick Ewing fan, so and Detroit Pistons fan, so I hate Michael Jordan.
Detroit, y'all should be ashamed of this lady right here. You should be ashamed.
Someone's supposed to say Joe Dumars? We're supposed to say Bill Lane Beer?
You should be ashamed.
Vinny the Microwave Johnson? What am I supposed to say?
Gary Payton locked him down in 96. If they would have let Gary Payton check him all 6 games, it would have been the Supersonics in 6. Because Sean Kemp was punished before Giannis.
But people cannot keep comparing Jordan and LeBron. What LeBron is missing that Jordan had is this and the will to win. Jordan was not going to give up a shot. You can't be a king delegating when you want to shoot and when you don't want to shoot. And then if you win, you take the prize. And then when you lose, you don't want to take the blame.
Well, what else does a king do? A king don't make his own porridge. Somebody got to go fix that man a plate.
But a king makes decisions. A king makes decisions.
Okay. That aside.
We'll say LeBron is the king of dispersing the ball. and we'll say MJ is the king of, let me go and get that. Let me brush it off to the side and kill this game real quick.
Now, we want to say what up to Michael Harris. There's no need to ask him because he's a Chicago Bulls fan. So I just feel the avalanche slanting towards me to just knock me on over. So what we're going to do is we're going to transition into a little pigskin. There's a lot of pigskin news on tap that I want to get into. And I want everybody to put on their big boy boxers and their big girl draws, your laundry draws. Put those on today because we're going to have a grown-up conversation right now. Yesterday, Commissioner Goodell in the NFL office sent out a memo that he is not playing no more games with these NFL players and being unvaccinated. Now, this is not a lecture on whether or not we that's in the panel think you that's in the audience should be vaccinated or not. We're talking about the business of the NFL. And according to the business of the NFL, unvaccinated players are going to have a hell of a time. Well, they're really going to be Hester Prynne with the little A on their head because they're going to have to sit over in the corner. Hey, shouts out for y'all reading in grade school.
If you don't know, that's the Scarlet Letter.
Right. And shouts out to my mama checking in, AP Colter. Thank you, Mama. Mama know who
my dukes.
She know who the king. Now, it caused a lot of stir yesterday because, unlike last year, the NFL says we're not rescheduling no more games outside of the scheduled scope, which means Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. So no more, they arguing over the king right now. So no more Wednesday, Thursday games. And if you're unvaccinated and you cause an outbreak on your team that causes the NFL to reschedule you and they can't, you forfeit this year, Stone. You forfeit. And if you forfeit, that means no game check for either team. Do you like this rule? Do you not like this rule? Where do y'all sit with this? We'll start with you, Marcus.
Of course, you know me. I'm all about the business, but I mean, the rule is what it is. They get fined when they late. They're gonna be fined if they don't get a shot.
Right, they get fined if the socks are not pulled up the right way, if the sweat towel is in the wrong pocket.
Right, especially if you're on the Tom Coughlin coach team. You better have on them.
You better get fined for showing up 5 minutes before time if you're on comp plan for Tom Coughlin.
Right. So, but what do you think about the idea of forfeiting games? Because our teams, the Tennessee Titans and the San Francisco 49ers and the Saints were all affected by COVID as far as having to move around games last year. Can you imagine the Titans who basically won on a tiebreaker with Indianapolis losing out on a game because of a forfeit and missing out on the playoffs? Oh, that would have been devastating.
Hey, when you ain't got enough players, man, when you ain't got enough players on the team, you got to forfeit.
So you down with the forfeit deal?
I mean, it's the rules, man.
Tasha, you down with the forfeit? Expound on that.
You have every right to not get vaccinated. Just as these owners have every right to say, I'm not going to pay you because you're not following along what this rule book says for your job. Therefore, the league has to do what they need to do.
Right.
Because it's not, at that point, it's not about you. If you get COVID, you're taking a chance of infecting not only the team, everybody within that organization, and then you're going to have to forfeit anyway. Like Marcus said, if you don't have enough players, you can't play.
Right. And the thing is, and this is not even alone to the NFL. If I went over to Canes right down the street and they got half they staff is out with COVID, we might see a little sign on the door that they closed today.
And that it affects the overall productivity if you don't have people there.
Shouts out to Langston Boy checking in. He got his cootie shot. Langston, do you believe it's fair that the NFL will start forfeiting games? Like me, I'm with that because the whole mixing and matching, and if you're like the Pittsburgh Steelers last year was totally unfair. They had no breakouts of their own, yet they got moved around 4 or 5 different times because of Buffalo, because of Tennessee, because of Baltimore, because of other teams not having a hold on their protocol, that their schedules got moved around. Now, let me ask you this as a athlete / father of athlete, both of y'all are parents of people who are in interscholastic sports and things of that nature. Yesterday, I saw teammates, NFL players, going at it back and forth whether get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated. Do you think that this could somehow cause a rift in the locker room with some teams if they don't reach the vaccination threshold?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, look, you gotta peel the onion all the way back, right? Mind you, you have the right to, whether you want to or not, right? That's your personal choice. But when you're in an organization or an establishment that, even though it's your talent, you're being paid, right? So it kind of changes the dynamics. You're being
Right.
paid to perform. Now, you can go play football all day long and not get paid, but if you want your check, these are the guidelines, right? So it changes the dynamic of the choice to be vaccinated, right? Because again, yes, they're paid and they get millions of dollars, but these owners are getting even more. They don't
Right.
want their money to be cut short.
Right.
The TV deals, they don't want that to be cut short. People got advertise. I ain't gonna throw out no other people names or no other company names because they ain't come to the hustle. So we no free
Right.
advertisement over here.
If you ain't May James, get out of here.
Right.
Get your least famous recipe and get out of here.
Right. We rock with May James on this show. That's what's up.
Yeah,
Y'all gonna have
yeah.
to cut the check.
Cut the check, baby. But I mean, so you got to look at it from the business standpoint. So if you have 50% of the locker room that is not, now you risking a chance of 100% plus that is infected or has potential to be infected, let alone the costs that will incur by not playing, forfeiting, advertising deals, seats not being sold, so on and so forth. So it's a ripple effect,
Yeah.
Now, we've always heard the age old saying, at least in the black community, the way to get at quote unquote the man is to get his pocket. The way to get at anybody is to get in their pockets. So if I come into the locker room and you there, Mr. Dreads, and you ain't vaccinated, and I know you're not vaccinated, and you cause an outbreak and we lose a game check, we're gonna have to see each other on the practice field. Especially if I'm not Aaron Rodgers money, if I'm 52 on the roster money, if I'm on that barely guaranteed money, and I lose that check, we may have to throw some hands. And I just think that this is gonna be messy. We saw yesterday Deandre Hopkins threatened to retire on Twitter because of this. You think that we're gonna see anybody take it that far?
That
It's
Cole
possible,
Beasley,
man.
probably. Yeah.
It's really possible. I mean,
Beasley.
Mark Cuban offered to pay for buy shares of Pfizer for him for his life. I mean, again, it's a real deal, man. People have their choice, right? I mean, it's a scary situation when you don't know 100% what can and what can't happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
So again, for them sticking to their guns, I applaud them for that because that's their belief. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
And Ezekiel Elliott, he made a interesting point yesterday when they were talking to him about the money and all. He was like, he said, I got vaccinated because I wanted to have a bounce back season and be there for my teammates each and every week. Well, we know that this is the last year of his guaranteed money. So he better do all that he can do. But he did say he grew up in a home where they were taught not to get vaccines. And we don't even have enough time on this program to go over why. Because there are legitimate reasons for black and brown people to be concerned about doing anything experimental.
Tuskegee.
Can anybody say Tuskegee?
Tuskegee.
Can anybody say Tuskegee? Now this is gonna make my mama knock over the computer because she came up during them times. So like and y'all's parents as well, but I'm just saying let's go to this aspect of it now. Michael Irvin made news a couple of days ago, going off on the Cowboys. I wonder if he was coked up. No, you don't want to.
That's what I was gonna say. Was he?
Was he on the sugar? Did he have? Was he on the sweet pea?
Don't do it.
Yeah. Look, Hustle's like, no, you lock me off. Trey, let me out. No, wait, say, don't let me out, though.
Don't let me out.
No, you're gonna sit in this car, Trey. Now, Michael Irvin said that because of the Cowboys are under the threshold, they are not committed to winning. Do you think that that's the case? That it's a lack of teammate / commitment thing, like it's a selfish move, if you're talking about everybody being on board to win a championship. Because it's hard to imagine a team that forfeits a game or two in the NFL winning a championship. Hell, even making the playoffs with forfeits.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that that's a fair assessment to call these players selfish and not being about the team?
Again, I can't necessarily say it's selfish, but it's the rule. That's the only thing that, yeah, like what Langston is saying. Oh, wait a minute.
No, not
I
what he
read
was
that wrong.
saying.
No, not what Langston
Right.
was saying.
Never repeat what Langston
I
said.
mean, it's like if you're at your job, if you're at your job and your job says in order to work here, you can't play music, or in order to work here, I know where my last job, I'm severely anemic and I always had a space heater. Well, they used to say, oh, you can't have your space heater here, but everyone can sit in here and be freezing, but I still used to sneak my space heater in. But if your job has a set of rules, whether you like those rules or not, you have to abide by them unless you can, like me, sneak it in, circumnavigate, and find a way to still do your job without the people knowing you don't have what you're supposed to have, or you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So Michael Irvin can't. Michael, it's a lot of things I don't listen to with Michael, especially after that Hall of Fame speech. I was like, but Michael Irvin sometimes says things, and I don't agree with a lot of things that he says. He has a point, but no, not in this case.
You have to be proactive. You have to be reactive. You have to want it. You gotta want it if you're the Cowboys. We've been doing this for 25. No, you know what? I'm gonna race up all.
And the thing is, he acts as if they don't want it. I mean, what player is not gonna? I know somebody said they were talking about Deandre Hopkins. They were saying, oh, he'd rather risk CTE and serious bodily injury rather than get a shot. What player doesn't go out there and give 100%, risking everything that I just mentioned, if they were not dedicated in some form of fashion to winning?
Right. I think that's a manipulation ploy, actually, that he did on behalf of his father, his non-biological father, Jerry Jones. And we're about to get into Jerry in just a second. But that's right, Langston. He ended with rise, stand up, and never, ever give up.
Yo, it's a difference, man. It's a difference, man. Look, he said they don't want it. He said they don't want it. So it's a difference, right? Teams that want it, all 32 teams want it, right?
Want it, yes.
But there's the teams that actually get it are the ones that need it. You know what I mean? You go harder when you need something. You need to breathe. You can want to breathe all day long, but you need to breathe. You know what I'm saying? So it's a difference.
Let somebody hold you underwater long enough, you'll be calm the first couple of seconds.
Right.
But after a while,
I'm not gonna be calm if they hold it. If I'm in this here salt water out here in this pool, if somebody holding me down, I'm not gonna be calm at any point because I need to breathe.
The feet gonna be like this.
No, them hands gonna be.
Yeah,
that's true. But that's a very good point. But so as that relates to football, like I said, you're a Saints fan, you're a 49er fan, I'm a Titans fan. All three teams with rosters that can make the playoffs this year. And if you get in the playoffs in the NFL, anything can happen. Would you be disappointed if COVID was the reason that your team didn't make it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I would too.
Yeah.
I would knock Derrick Henry upside his head.
With that crown.
Right, with his own crown. We ain't had a championship yet. At least y'all done tasted the sweet tang of the champagne. We ain't tasted nothing in Nashville. Y'all better get them shots in Nashville. Got my blood pressure all up. Now let's transition over to Jerry Jones to get off COVID for just a second. Jerry Jones had his annual State of the Union address yesterday as the Cowboys started training camp out in Oxnard, California. The man was teary-eyed. The man was reflective, and he said something that literally made me fall out of my chair. He admitted in front of the world that he effed it up with Jimmy Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
He admitted, teary-eyed and all, that he effed it up with Jimmy Johnson, and that he don't know how many more trips around the sun that he has. He'll be 80. He'll be 79 in October, and then he'll do anything to get a ring now because he's starting to see the sand come out of the hourglass. Now, let me ask y'all this. We'll start in the middle with you, T. Sizzle. Would anything include stepping away as general manager? Or he didn't mean it like that?
Oh, he didn't mean it like that. Because, no. That's definitely not what Phyllis Diller meant.
So that wasn't under the umbrella of anything.
No, he's not going to step down. And sometimes I wonder, is he even making some of those decisions? I mean, he seems to have everything, his wits about him. I don't think there's anything, going on up there physiologically that would impel him from making those type of decisions. He just makes bad decisions. And then you got Steven there co-signing. Like, both of them, they need to step away from that and hire someone else. You can still keep it in the family. They're still going to get their bill. You're still going to get their money. But no, he's not stepping down from that. That's not
he didn't mean
talking about.
So you're saying he did mean anything. Do you buy that, Stone? Do you think anything could mean him stepping down if it means getting one more crack at the ring?
He's not gonna step down. He's not gonna step down. For one, you got two sharks that's worse than him, waiting for him to see the maker. I think to me that translates. Let's open up the purse strings. He got enough of it. Hell, don't him and ERCOT sit together. They got plenty of money.
Right. Don't get me started back on that with my $300 light bill. They're coming. Okay, so so you're saying if Jerry Jones was presented with an opportunity to snatch away, open up the pocketbook and snatch away the very top of the line director of player personnel and general manager in the league right now to pretty much guarantee himself a Super Bowl, you think his ego at 79 years old is still that out of control that he wouldn't step back and do that for one more run at a title?
Yeah, got such a big ego. Yep. Come on, Beyonce.
He gonna go after players first. Now, look, I mean, you talking about the ego. His ego so big to where he had to make their first round draft pick wear number 88.
He did make him, and he didn't even want to do that. You're right. He didn't want
to wear it. He didn't want to wear 88.
It looks good on you, son.
I mean, Jerry is one of those people that are cut off his nose to spite his face when it comes to that. Look how long. Look how long it took him to give Jerry Jones to give Jimmy Johnson the credit. Like, why was it being so bad to give that man credit? As opposed to even just saying, well, Jimmy did this, Jimmy that, but I helped him a little bit. That's all you had to say. Well, it wasn't all Jimmy. Jimmy. Oh yeah, Jimmy did this, Jimmy did that. But what I did was, that's how you come through with that. Not
you hire him. Now hire him and sit down and shut the hell up.
Because we all know
manager would do.
Right. We all know. Yeah, they brought Barry Switzer in, but Barry Switzer won that Super Bowl off the tail end of a Jimmy Johnson put together team.
Right. Now I got some good news for you Cowboys fans. I got proof here on how they're gonna win the Super Bowl this year if history repeats itself. Are y'all ready for this?
They're gonna send a vial of COVID to every team.
No. It's not related on that end.
In week 17.
No. Now this is according to Elias Sports Bureau with ESPN. The last time the Bucks won the NBA Finals in 1971, the Cowboys won the next Super Bowl in 1972. If that don't wet your whistle, the last time the Suns lost the NBA Finals in 1993, the Cowboys won it the next year. Come on now, we there. Hold on. You can't argue with the numbers, y'all don't like them numbers?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, ain't like.
I can argue with the numbers.
So you saying that the history can't repeat itself?
No, not in this case.
No, history is good. It's been repeating itself every single year. Cowboys.
You know what? Let me. You know what? Since I see where you walking me off that plank, we're gonna move on to college. Nice move there. Thank God I've done enough shows with you where I saw you was walking me off that plank with the history repeating itself. Good job by you, Stone. I had a good night's sleep. All right, let's go to college football real quick. The SEC, like the NFL, is down with forfeiting games. Even at the collegiate level, are you okay with that? With these being college kids and not professionals being paid to play with the whole vaccination deal?
Safety, man.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah. Because remember,
Okay.
I was last year, I was against them even playing last year.
And you were right.
You know I'm down with it.
And we don't want to hear from you, Stone, because we know you said it too. And I
surely
begged for
did.
Michigan to play, and we went 2-4.
If y'all missed that show, make sure you're gonna catch that on the replay.
Right, we're gonna check it. We're gonna put the link up for that one. That was an awful showing on my part. Now Texas and OU are dominating the headlines right now. It's funny that we have a Friday show with no news dump stuff. All of this stuff is hot off the press. Texas and OU, it looks like that with each passing minute, we're getting closer and closer to them leaving the Big 12. Tasha, does that even sound right to you?
No. Not
Are you okay with this move?
No. I'm not even okay with A&M being in the SEC.
Right.
I'm not okay with West Virginia being in the Big 12.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with that because regionally, how does that make sense?
Right. It doesn't. Stone. Now, you're entering Big 12 country. You've lived in Big 12 country, but you're from SEC country. You understand how SEC fans are very loyal and territorial. You also understand being in Texas how important the sport of football is to the economy, to the psychology of the people here. What do you think? You think this is a good move for Texas and OU to go to the SEC?
I mean, business-wise, I need to put the business.
You're always about business, Hustle. By the way, you can catch the Unapologetic Hustle season 2 coming real soon. Since he's always clocked in.
I'm always clocked in. I mean, business-wise, it's a great move. You're talking about new rivalries. You're talking about the Red River Classic. OU Texas coming into SEC. I mean, it creates more contingencies as far as playoff, right? They may actually expand it now with a bigger conference in the SEC.
But look, Hustle, let me ask you this about the business. Why would it benefit? Are you saying it'll benefit the SEC or to benefit Texas and OU? Because Texas has its own network.
But that's what I'm saying. It benefit both because now you're talking about pulling SEC traveling teams that travel well into your market.
But Texas is going to have to drop that Longhorn network because the SEC is not going to go for that.
Maybe not. The university has the Longhorn network, so they don't lose anything. You know what I mean? They just capture another audience and another level of viewership. You know what I mean? So they don't lose.
Okay. I get you.
Well, let's take it on the field because you're going from what everybody should be able to agree is a weaker conference to a tougher conference, leaving the likes of Kansas and Texas Tech and those type of teams to go in there. You playing if you're in the SEC West, you got Mississippi State, Mississippi, Auburn, LSU, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
In your division, not even in your conference, in your division.
In your division.
Hey.
And then how would they split that? How would you? Who determines who goes to the East and who goes to the West? Are you going to say Texas?
I'll say you have to play for it. You'd have to play for it. Get on the field and play for it.
And then you can have 2 UTs in the East. You know how sensitive those volunteer fans are with that shade of that orange. Can you imagine? Orange? You would have to put your TV on black and white. the damn Gatorade.
One of those old
Gatorade bucket is orange. The damn Gatorade bucket is orange. You got people out there with orange cars. You got the checkerboard field in Knoxville. You got the orange end zone in Austin. I mean, that's too much damn orange.
And the Smokey and the cow out there fighting.
Right, fighting. And Smokey don't play that. He on his moonshine. He like, look, I'm over here.
Smoking
Y'all
on
done had me a
on that
couple.
yow. So I'm just now. If okay, let's ask this: if you're Texas, let's go Texas since we're in Texas. Would you rather go to the East or the West? Because in the
Yeah,
SEC, you got Florida, Georgia, UT, Kentucky,
It's stacked
Vanderbilt.
either way.
Either way, like
nah. Send me to the East. Send me
yeah,
to
I
the
mean, yeah,
East, and
because
I'll
you wouldn't
change
have
the
to.
East
school
Cause,
one
colors.
brother to the
yeah,
East,
yeah, you don't have to worry about facing Alabama.
and you get
You
Vandy.
don't. Yeah,
I'd
you
much rather
look.
have Vandy in Kentucky
So
than
when you
Mississippi and
think about
Mississippi
it,
State.
think about it. So look, you talking about the West. You talking about Mississippi State, LSU, Alabama, Auburn, A&M. East, you Georgia?
In Florida,
I mean,
I
come
mean,
on.
but the thing is,
nobody's
hustle.
really
The thing
sold on
is,
Florida like that, huh?
but the thing is, you guys know Georgia and Florida will pull these amazing seasons out of their culos from nowhere. Like that's why
Yeah.
it can happen, but they
Like
can also
Michigan.
be
I'm sorry, I'm still stunned from last year. Every now and again, we'll play for the
every
big
now and
win.
again.
But no,
I feel
no,
you
you
on
gotta
that
go east.
because even though LSU is down, LSU has the ability to come back up. Because I mean, no one really was rooting for LSU in the '70s and the '80s. It wasn't until the '90s when they started really winning that people were just like, "Oh, Bayou,
When that grass
we
eater
got Bayou
showed up.
Tigers, Bengal Tigers," and right, that's when LSU really started. Well, no, actually Saban first, but it
Oh
really
yeah,
Mhm.
Saban. Yeah, I
no
forgot
one was
about
really
Saban. You're
just
right. He won a title.
no
Now,
one was really just rooting for them.
Stone, now you're going to be supporting the Big 12 this year, and we're not even going to put out the school that you're going to be supporting because we're going to keep everything. We're going to keep everything until we find out what's going on with them, and far as how all this goes. But you know good and damn well that you'd love to be down there in the swamp. You'd love to be in the hedges. You'd love to be in Alabama on that road game. Then
Hey,
in Lubbock,
hey, you could miss me with Lubbock, but
the
um,
SEC has some venues if you want to start traveling to go see your boy play.
Yeah,
absolutely.
they
I
got
mean, again,
some nice stuff.
it's a good move. I think, period. Again, if they are actually asking for that, hey, you got to be able to swing with the fences. I mean, Texas A&M showed up this past season. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they historically haven't, but they showed up this past season.
Keep your eye on CJ Spiller, running back for A&M. He came
Mm-hmm.
back this year, and he's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a
Mm-hmm.
problem.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Hey,
I,
watch out for my nephew Deuce Harmon, corner at A&M, going playing lights out.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay, gig 'em.
but
giggle.
right, your family, they the Jacksons 2.0. They got Reeby, they got Mike, they got Tito, all of them. Say hello to Joe and boys Helen. What's the mother name? Catherine.
Catherine. Yeah.
Shouts out. Now let's keep it in college. But let me ask y'all about this. Deion made headlines again last week. Well, earlier this week. I don't know if y'all saw this or not, but he was doing media days for the SWAC, and he walked out of his press conference because the journalist called him Deion and not Coach. Fair or foul? Anybody just jump in there.
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna take
Fair.
this one first. It's fair simply because he's trying to let people know what he's trying to do. He's trying to separate himself from being prime
Mhm.
time, from being Deion to being coach, which is one of the reasons why I didn't think it was a good idea for him to be the coach because we still see him in the end zone doing this here. I did. I didn't think people would take him serious as a coach. Like, but he has every right to demand respect. Call him coach, But he said a quote that people are saying is wrong. That people do call Nick Saban Nick. But if
Yeah.
this man is telling you, I want to be called coach, not Deion, not Prime, call me coach. Mama name him
Mhm.
Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
Okay, fair enough. Stone, you agree?
Yeah, man, it's principalities in this thing, man. That man, hey, on the field, he was prime time. He was flashy. It must be the money. You know what I mean? But now, it's a different hat he has on. When I'm behind the mic or on the camera, it's hustle. You know what I mean? But you get me off of here, you call me everything else. But hey, he's trying to instill in those young men that how to handle business. That I am Coach
Mm-hmm.
Deion. You can probably walk up to him and say, Coach Prime, what he was doing with his 7-on-7. You know what I mean? But put the respect on it, right? He is a coach. Give him that
Mm-hmm.
credit. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like receiving a doctorate, right? Give me that prefix. Hey, call me doctor. Y'all call Dr.
Okay.
Dre Dr. Dre.
Right.
You don't just say Dre.
I didn't think it
Well,
was that way,
sometimes
but
I do. Sometimes I do say Dre.
right, you were
You
like
you
that
you
you
think
heard that
doctor first.
new
You think doctor
Dre?
first.
Now, I'm gonna say this because Stephanie, my nephew Kenny Man, shouts out for checking in. They both agree with you, respect what the man wants to be called. In that instance, I believe he did give the man a warning shot to
Mhm.
not call him Deion, and the guy did it again, like they cool like that, and Deion walked off. Me personally, that was just another Deion event to go viral
You think
because
so?
I think it was a Neon Deion event to go viral because like I know, when you call, if
Mm-hmm.
he was walking down the
Mm-hmm.
street right now, we said prime time. He gonna look around. He might do his little dance.
He's
He
going
gonna
to
give a little
stop. That's what
shimmy.
you would exactly. That's
You
what
know
you
what I'm
would
saying?
say.
It's like, okay, but
But that's
you
the
didn't even
environment, though. That's the
now.
environment. You
It
you in
is
a
the
press
environment, but
conference.
what I'm saying is that
Right. If
I
you're,
don't
but
think
but
he's
but you think
above.
players get up every day and walk out of a press conference. So if when they don't say, I mean, when people say what they don't like, but him being a coach, I think he probably should have just toughed that out even after the guy kept calling him Deion,
Right,
even though
the
he said he wanted to be
walkout.
called coach.
Right, I think the walkout was
Barking.
planned. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna bring attention here because before that, and I went back and watched his whole media day, the interview where TV1 was there, and he
Mm.
specifically said they were asking him about the low profileness of HBCU schools, and he said we got to do better as in the HBCU schools. He said, and y'all got to do better. He said, we found it was on ESPN and not ESPN 14 or 15. And then he said, we're a black school. Where's
Right.
BET? Where's TV1? Where's Black Sports Online? Where are they?
Nowhere.
Somewhere covering Aaron Rodgers and what he's doing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't they here? Like the grassroots movement should start from within. Now, shouts out to Drew Merriman, did it checking in, said his mama called him Clay, I'm gonna call him Clay. Okay, but I think that as the coach, you put your foot down and you make that happen. Or if he calls you Deion again, next question.
Right.
But
Next question.
next question won't have you trending on Twitter and having people talk
And
about
and
you on the national shows, which I think is very
and see, that's
calculated
the
and
thing.
smart on his
Mm-hmm.
part. No,
Yeah.
go ahead, Tasha.
Because he's getting the attention on them, but all attention ain't good attention. Just like they say, all money ain't good money. It helps you, but it's not good all the time because you're doing all these antics. Deion, is the team winning? Now, when it come to a point where they say, okay, we like you here, Coach Prime, Coach Deion, Coach, but you're not winning. So
Yeah,
would they get
right.
rid of him because he's bringing so much attention to the program?
Now that's a good question because our very first impression of Deion when we talked about him on this very show was him going off to somebody stole his gym bag with his cell phone and he couldn't call his mama after the game. His team had just won their first game with him. The interview was not about the kids. It was about who stole his bag. We
Who
still don't know
stole
who
his
stole that bag.
bag?
Who
We still
stole
Hey,
don't,
my
and
bag? We
we
did the press conference. Stone?
still don't. We still don't
hey,
know
Phil,
what was
look, we
in the
got we got
bag.
we got breaking news. We got
Okay,
breaking
break some
news.
news.
We got a
Uh oh.
coach just left Minnesota. Vikings offensive line coach after refusing COVID-19 vaccine.
Wow.
Well, see, that's what you get on that. You get that breaking news. So now, so is this the Minnesota Vikings? He said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Vikings.
Okay, so yeah, these owners are like, this ain't mandatory, but it's mandatory.
I mean, you, I can't. Okay,
Way
I'm
to
gonna
break
say a
some
Pimp
news on
C
the show,
line.
Stone.
It's hard for me to say this line without saying the cuss word. But what did Pimp C say? Any bitch can be replaced.
No.
Only Sizzle. Only Sizzle.
One of these days, I'm gonna do an
Shouts out
outtakes
to
video of
them
all of her
Canes.
clips. Now, Steph says if I get my PhD and want to be called
PAT in the
Dr.
house.
and someone keeps calling me Steph in a meeting, I have the right to end it. He is an attention whore, though. Yes, and I think that that's a perfect example where two things can be true at one time. But I ultimately think that he's been an attention whore to bring just attention to his program. If you're talking about them, you may send a reporter out there. If a reporter comes out, maybe a scout will come out. If a scout comes out, maybe a couple of his players get looked at and get drafted or at least invited to the combine. So, like, I love Deion. I ain't got no beef with Deion. I've always been a fan of Deion, even when he went to the
Yeah.
Raggedy 40 and stopped our three-peat. But I think he's ultimately doing it for the program. But Deion can't. Deion is going
I don't
Deion.
necessarily even think he's. I don't think he's necessarily doing it for the program. I think he's doing it for himself because come on, we know Prime. He's. I don't care what he said. He always gonna be Prime. He's Prime while he's coaching. They got the bus with him on the side. That's Prime time.
Right.
That's not
Who
coach.
stole the bag? Who stole the bag?
What was in that bag? Open it up.
Was that the bag Kardashian brought out of Rockingham?
Oh.
Prime time. Hey, prime time, you all people. Okay, we're gonna move on past prime time because now we're gonna get in some weeds on that. See, he's our
Stop. Because you said the bag that the late great Rob Kardashian brought out of Rockingham. He
came out with a big old attaché. I don't know what was in there.
See, that went over some people's head.
Yeah.
That went over a lot of people's heads.
Go back and
so I
just
bring that back up.
Go back and rewatch the People versus OJ on Netflix, and you'll understand what I mean. I think it's episode 7-ish. But yeah, he walked out with that bag. Or no, I'm not gonna go into the Ray Lewis bag because we still don't know what happened to that white suit. Let's move on to the Olympics, shall we? Opening ceremonies was this morning in front of an empty but zealous and festive Tokyo Dome or wherever that is. Let me ask you this. With numbers on the rise, COVID numbers on the rise there's people outside boycotting and chanting that they should end the games out there. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to ask you both individually. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is the likelihood that they finish these games without having to cancel it because of COVID? Tasha, you first. Scale of 1 to 10. What's your confidence we're going to finish these games?
I'm going to say a 10 simply because they've gone too far.
We over that now.
How do you? Okay, let's say everybody's darling, my little sweet Simone Biles. Let's say they finish the team competition, and it's time for the individual competition where she can win her second all around. Mm-hmm. They're not going to pull the plug on that if she has a chance because she will. I think at this time, Shannon Miller. I don't know if you guys remember her. She is the most decorated U.S. gymnast. If Simone goes,
more than Mary Lou Retton?
Mary Lou only did one Olympics in '84, and she only won the all around. And you remember Russia wasn't there because they boycotted '84. Shannon Miller did 2 Olympics.
Well, she was on the Wheaties box.
So this is Simone's. Yeah, she was in the Star Spangled Leotard. But I don't think that they would deny somebody like Simone Biles that opportunity to go back to back with that all around.
Stone, on a scale of 1 to 10.
Let's say, because she is the Olympic darling.
She is, but she's not from Tokyo. Tokyo might pull the plug on her if she get too out of control. What about you, Stone? 1 to 10. Are we gonna finish these?
It's going down, man. Ceremony was at this morning, so it's already rocking.
Now let's flip it to men's basketball and the women's basketball. They both struggled mightily in exhibitions leading up to the Tokyo Games. Neither team seemed to be in sync. They were catching L's from teams that they usually just steamroll in exhibition play. Are you worried about the men's and women's basketball teams bringing home the gold this year, Stone?
No, I'm not worried. Now I'm always optimistic though, because again, basketball in Europe has just been magnified. So again, when all these last names, when you hear the Vitches and all this other stuff like Shaq say,
the bitches.
As long as the bitches,
you know what? I was for a second. I was like, oh, you done been Sizzled. Sizzle will drop one on you. Hey, what's up, Trent? Sizzle will drop one. Okay, keep on the Vitches, like Popovich and Yusevich.
Yeah, Shaq.
Gotcha.
Yeah, gotcha. Shaq say as long as you got Vitch at the end, you got a shooter. So that's real talk.
That's real talk. Let's not even forget, in the NBA, the last 3 MVPs weren't even from America. Giannis, and now they Joker.
Mm-hmm.
So they over here, and really who got next is Luka. He gonna be an
MVP. What's his last name?
He got an itch at the end of it.
He got an itch.
Got an itch at the end
if
of
you got an itch, you got a shooter. Swish with it. Tasha, are you worried about USA's chances in basketball in Olympic play this year?
I'm not so worried about the women's side. The only concern I have about the women's side is this is kind of like the middle of their season.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think they may wear down. They could wear down. But I'm not really more concerned about them. I'm inclined to go along with what Hustle said. These Euro players have stepped their game up to the point so much that the NBA is now being refereed almost Euro style.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost an even playing field now when you have these Europeans that are out here playing with the same intensity and the same skill set of these American players who at some point are switching their style over to the European. They already walking up these Euro cut suits with these big masculine muscular thighs busting out the side. Stopping at the ankle.
With the no sock and the oiled up ankle bone. Right, with the loafers.
Right, and they're switching. Look how many outside shooters you have now. And what they say, the Euro step. They
don't call it the Chicago step. Right.
Right.
The Euro step. I'm worried about the construction of our roster. We don't have a true point guard. We don't have a true facilitator. In international play, there's no real thing as charging. You can't do the pump fake, jump into the defender, and get the 3 like Trae Young. That's why they got Kevin Love up out the paint. He tried that in one game, and they looked at him like, you don't do that over here. Get up. So Popovich was like, oh, that's his one-trick pony. He got to going back to the States. That's what got him out of there. And Kenny is absolutely right. People play physical against the USA. It's this ain't 92 when it was only Tony Kukoc in the league. They can put together their own Euro All-Star team and get to work. So
and you also had a Vitch, Drazen Petrovic. It had an itch in the league.
Because of this, I'm gonna be looking for itches. I'm gonna be looking for these itches on the rosters now. The whole Olympics.
Hey.
We're gonna be counting inches in the Olympics. That's what's up. That's a heck of a note to end on. Stone, since you're on here, can we get
Yeah.
can we get one of your prophetic, one of your eclectic, one of your prophetic hustle moments to close the show, man? What you got for us?
Man, yo, look. So every day we've been given is a day of opportunity. It's what we do in the moments of opportunity that produce our greatness. Don't fold to the circumstance, only elevate and rise above it. So use the challenges that we're faced with as fuel and energy to push forward. So if nothing else, know that you were created by greatness to be great. So be prophetic and show somebody else how to achieve what you achieve or go beyond. So you know what it is, man. It's your boy Hustle.
Man, we should have let you go last. Man, anybody close the sermon after that? T Sizzle, what
I
you got?
know. I got let me show you some people who are important to me here in the DR. This right here, this is Mr. Pedro Sarita. This is
Hello,
the man
sir.
who built the magnificent. They said hello. This is the man that built the magnificent home that I'm now vacating. So if you're coming to the DR, if you want a house built, Pedro Sarita, and I will give you the information because this is my brother, this is my friend. And the last shout out, guys, this is my mijo. This is Jason, guys. This is my son. I take him everywhere with me. He helps me translate and make sure I'm not getting taken for my money when we off in the barrios and everything else down here in the Dominican Republic.
Right, he
That's
won't.
why I
You
kept
know,
looking
once we do that to you,
That's why
like,
I
don't
keep
stand in
looking
no
to the
live
side
shop with her
because
too long.
right. They keep coming, like asking me questions. I'm trying to tell them I'm at work. I'm at work. And, so I want to give these. That's my family, guys. That's mi hijo, mi hermano, and this is just a friend. I don't know his name, but hello, sir. hola, senor. But yeah, that's it, guys.
All right, and what I'm gonna
He's
do
still
is,
talking. He's talking. Oh, he's saying that he wants to help me, but I got. Wait, I'll be right back. Okay, go ahead.
you over there cooking summer sausages? What you over there doing? I just want to thank you for coming on with us today. Thank you, Hustle, and I'm proud of you, Hustle, for jumping on today. We met our threshold and we talked about off wax, so you know what that means. For everybody else, I just want y'all to keep a lookout for more content from Mr. Stone and the Extra Point, Mr. Hustle. On behalf of T Sizzle, we appreciate y'all each and every time. Hey, my thing is, if you're already up, you're already alive, go love on somebody today. You just never know what word that you give somebody could be the word that keeps them going a whole nother day. So let's pay our blessings forward. Everybody have a great rest of the day. And USA, find some itches in the Olympics. We out.